Hey, how you guys doing? So in this podcast and in this video, what I'm going over, my name is Franklin Cruz, I'm a true investor, and my purpose of doing these videos is one, that you get educated on somebody who's in the trenches as a real estate investor and developer. Yes, we get water in real time. So I want to go over in this episode why only buying land that you own is the smartest thing that you could do. So again, why we only buy land that we own. That's what you want. So if you look behind me, this is a rehab that we're working on. If you're listening right now, I'm in front of a rehab that we're working on in Sherwood. It's the Sherwood project. So the importance, I want to go over, the importance of owning the land that you actually have a property on is extremely important. Number one is manufactured homes. So if you go around this entire area, this is a manufactured home community, which is a beautiful community. I love this community. Two things happen in manufactured communities. The first one is you could own the land. You see this beautiful landscape? They own that land. That's powerful. Now, the other part of a manufactured community is that you lease the land. So the only bad thing is when you come in for leasing land, they control the land lease, meaning the structure on top, you could probably own it, but now you're going to have to pay for the land lease. The bad thing is, typically when people come to manufactured homes or 55 and over communities, which this entire property is a 55 and over community, they're coming here as their last property. It's typically the last property they'll ever be at before they meet Jesus and they say hello. Okay, so typically that's what it looks like. It's their last one till their transition, and they're fine with it, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. What I don't like is when you're doing the land lease, what the bad part is that it's an uncontrollable cost that only increases because what happens is the owners are typically hedge funds that own a manufactured home community with that you don't own the land. And every single year they are allowed to keep creeping it up on the cost, and there's nothing you could do about it. So now land lease used to be cheap. It used to be $300 a month, $400 a month. Now you have areas $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 a month just to lease the land. That's expensive for people, especially if you're on Social Security or something like that. That doesn't work. And that's why we only purchase manufactured homes that you own the land. Period, because it gives somebody the opportunity of ownership. And to me, that's a big deal, right? So that's one factor. Another cool fact that people don't know, manufactured homes, just like all these other ones over here, you cannot get a mortgage if they are older, if they were built from 1980 and below. So somebody can't get a normal mortgage. And that's important. So if you're buying, like, for example, we're going to put this manufactured home that you own the land, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, totally remodeled, brand new kitchen, brand new AC, brand new everything. We're going to be putting on the market when it's ready, brand new roof for $190, okay? $190, $195-ish, but you own the land. The other aspect of it as well is because this was built in 1986 or 87, so somebody can get a mortgage on it. If not, that means they have to have cash. Right? So we've got those type of properties too, but remember, not everybody has 200 grand. Not everybody has 100 grand. So you have to be mindful, your biggest pool of people whenever you're investing in a manufactured home is somebody who can actually get a mortgage. Okay? So if they can get a mortgage, bigger pool of people. Smaller pool of people, cash only. It's possible. Probably you could even do it rental. Probably you could do a lease option. Probably you could do creative financing. You don't know until you dig into it. The other thing is land ownership provides stability and control. So if you have land ownership on top of your structure, there's a sense of certainty. I own this. It's not being taken away from me. All I got to do is keep paying the taxes. I own it. You feel stability. And I truly believe people want certainty. There's a level of people that high certainty, especially where you live. To me, where you live, you need certainty. Period. That's just the way it is. You've got to have some kind of sense of where you live that you're not going to be homeless. Okay? Not saying it's going to happen, but I think that is in somebody's head. They're like, oh my God, I don't want to be homeless, right? Or live with my mommy and daddy. But if you're over 55 and old, what are you talking about, mommy and daddy? Okay? So the other thing is how owning land helps avoid financial risk tied to raising rates, rents, and park closures. So meaning, if you own the land, you got it. If you don't own the land, something could go sideways in that park. They're going to keep raising the law. There's HOA fees, and then there's land leases. And they could raise both to whatever they want. And they could make up any legal excuse they want to keep raising it. And guess what you can do about it? nothing, because that's your choice to be the renter, right? That's just the way it is. And if that's your choice, there's nothing wrong with that, but understand and be educated on what is true and what is not. Okay, so when you own the land, different ballgame. The other thing was why I love manufactured homes and RVs. To me, it's one of the most affordable options, especially if you're in a 55 and over community, that you truly have. But you've got to make sure that you own the land. If you don't own the land, like Roy Crockett, in the founder of the movie with McDonald's, you know, he was going bankrupt. A lot of people don't know this, but he was, in the beginning, when he partnered up with the McDonald's brothers, is that he was having a hard time with the business because he was selling the franchises, until one day, and it always happens this, through adversity, he had to figure out how to create enough income that he could keep doing what he was doing, because he knew that it can scale. He knew that McDonald's can grow because it had a great product. People loved it. And it was open 7 days a week. They called it the church without being a church. It just had the golden arches, right? And Ray Crockett had that vision. The McDonald's brothers, they only had one McDonald's at the time, and it was in California. That was it. They attempted to franchise, but not everybody has the skill of management and understanding how to manage people. That's a skill set, and that takes time. Roy Crockett, he had the persistence of doing it. Say what you want about the guy on personal life, whatever. At the end of the day, he was the one that saw that, and then he came up with the vision of saying, look, he was at the bank, he was going bankrupt, he was like, he put his house on the line that he owned in the 50s. And remember, this guy was just coming back from selling milkshakes, right? And so one of the bankers, or somebody overheard him, and I forget, it was the first CEO of McDonald's, and he said, look, you cannot keep on making income off of selling a hamburger and making 1% off the hamburger. You're in the wrong business. You're not in the burger business. You're in the land business. That's what he said. You're in the land business. And it hit him. You're right. Because if you own the land and you're leasing it out to the people who are the franchises, and now you put a certain quality control within the lease, if they don't follow your quality control, then you're going to be out of the lease. Period. But Roy had the vision, and that guy had the vision, I forget his name, and they started purchasing all the land. So there's power in that. And now McDonald's is actually one of the biggest landowner companies in the entire world is McDonald's. They're not a burger business. They're a real estate business, just FYI. So then Roy Kroc, what happened was he created a separate company called McDonald's Realty, and he started purchasing land throughout the country. So then anybody who was a franchisee owner, they had to purchase the land and lease the land directly from McDonald's Realty that he actually owned without the McDonald's brother. It actually took them out of that contract of the franchise. So what happened is then Roy blew up. If you guys know the history of McDonald's, it went from having 50 franchises, which he created all of them, to over 1,000 in his lifetime, and now way more than that. And he had enough capital to buy out the McDonald's brothers by choice. They took $1 million each back in the 50s, and $1 million back then in the 50s was like $100 million now. And that's kind of the story of how McDonald's turned into not a burger business, but a land business. Pivoting from manufactured homes, your goal is to own the land. That's what you want, to own the land. You don't want to have a land lease. If you have a land lease, you're locked into whatever they say the land lease is going up to. Every single year is going to increase to whatever they want. And there's nothing you could do about it. So I strongly suggest, if you're looking at a manufactured home, own the land. That's where you want to be. But if financially you can't own the land, just know your end goal is to own land. Your end goal, you may have to just be in a place that you have to land lease right now, and then later on own it. So if you got something out of these videos, fantastic. Like, share, comment, whatever you guys want. Press any buttons around there, and we'll take it from there. My name is Franklin Cruz from True Investors. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.